Good morning, I'm Joe Chambers from Chambers Custom at 1911 University, bringing you another mathematical review today. This time, we're going to be talking about a gun that was sent to me directly from the factory from a major manufacturer of 1911s. They wanted me to give them some input on numbers, and I agreed to do that. Before we get started, it's important to remember that this is a sample of one. This gun was not cherry-picked. It was taken off the line randomly and sent to me. So it is a representative, one sample representative of what you may or may not get if you buy one of these guns from your local gun store. This gun we're going to nickname is Touro. Most of you guys have seen these in your local gun stores. This is made by Taurus. You guys know I don't normally name the guns that I review by name, but on these lower end guns I do because, well, you know, that's what we're doing here. It's a nice looking gun. You know, it's black. It's got a black finish of some sort. It's got an ambi thumb safety. It's got a beaver tail grip safety. It's got a commander style hammer, fixed Novak sights, front cocking serrations. It's got some pretty nice fine checkering on the mainspring housing and front strap. The front strap actually is kind of smooth, but it is what it is. It's got a long 3-hole ventilated trigger. Full-length guide rod. This one is a government model in 45. Comes with a couple magazines and a hard case. It has an 80 series trigger system, similar to Colt, but not exactly the same. And there are a lot of MIM parts on these guns, guys. But the plus side of them is these retail generally in your local gun store for around $500. MSRP is $677, but they always sell for less than that. So it's a really, you know, Taurus makes these guns. Their goal is to make a affordable, reliable pistol. That's their goal. So let's get into the math and see what it looks like, because math don't lie. 3.14 is always pi. All right, bushing ID 0.5825, barrel OD 0.577 for a difference of 0.0055. Slide ID 0.703, bushing OD 0.697 for a difference of 0.006. The bushing can be turned in the slide when the gun's in battery. As you can imagine, there's 11 thousandths total tolerance there, 11 and a half. Bushing moves fore and aft in the slide 10 thousandths when the gun's in battery. And the chamber depth is 0.898, which is pretty much industry standard. Slide stop pinhole in the frame is 0.2015, and the slide stop diameter is 0.1984. That was a good year. Difference is 0.0031. Extractor length is long, 2.2625. There is 0 fore and aft movement on the extractor when it's installed because the firing pin plate is extremely tight. That's a good thing. The bad thing is there's 0 tension on the extractor, and the hook sits so far forward that it's way up on the rebate of the case. So Kevin and I are going to shoot this gun in a little while and see how it functions. And I'll talk to you about what I think in regards to that at the end of this video. Ejector length is 1.080, which is perfect for a 45, and it's at the right angle. There is 0 barrel fit, as we probably figured. Most of you guys watching this video are like, wow, it's a $500 gun. Of course it doesn't have barrel fit. Once in a while you get surprised, but not on this particular gun. Slide stop hole in the link is 0.206. Barrel leg height is 0.095. Link bridge thickness is 0.094 for a difference of negative 1/1000. The gun doesn't have any barrel bump, but it's also worth noting that the hole in the link where the pin goes through the barrel to hold the link in the barrel is 156, but the pin that they use to hold the link in the barrel is 0.150. So the pin is quite a bit undersized from the link hole itself. This allows the link to have some float 3/1000ths either direction. Why they did this, I don't know. I don't know if it was because of ease of manufacturing. I got nothing on that, but it's definitely a detrimental thing because it's allowing that link to move in a way that it's not supposed to move. Slideway width, this is where it kind of gets ugly, guys. I've seen a lot of 1911s over the years. I've measured hundreds and hundreds of them, and I can't recall a 1911 that I've measured that has as loose of a slide to frame fit, unless it was an old clapped out gun of some sort. So slide away width is 0.7577, frame rail width 0.7479. Difference is 0.0098, so almost 10,000 side to side. And you can absolutely feel it. Slideway height 0.1045, frame rail height 0.0955 for a difference of 0.009, 9/1000ths on the first up and down measurement. Slide rail height 0.1155, except for on the front left bearing surface where it's 0.1165 for a very short distance. Frame way height 0.1195, so we're going to call that a difference of 0.004, 4/1000ths, except for in that one small section where it's 3/1000ths. So total up and down, you've got 13/1000ths. Frame vertical impact surface is 0.335 from the rear of the slide stop pinhole to the frame. So that's within tolerance. That's what we're looking for on a GI style gun. It's on the long side of our tolerance, but it's there. The barrel vis measures 0.340. Now, the barrel vis being longer than the frame vis means that the barrel may not drop down in time to prevent slide lug damage. We've seen this on the Wandessens, we've seen this on a couple of other brands of guns. I'm not exactly sure why they're doing it this way, but what that can cause is that the barrel can't get out of the way of the slide before the slide starts to, gets fully back. Also of note is that in these guns there's no bow tie cut on the frame vis. So what that means is the bottom of the barrel legs are they're contacting the frame when the gun goes out of battery to eject the round after the shot's fired. Over time, what this can cause is it can cause your barrel legs to break off. That's not a good problem. It's an easily correctable thing, but it's something that you need to pay attention to. All right, trigger pull. I'll just be honest with you, the trigger on this gun is pretty terrible. Everybody in the shop that pulled the trigger was like, holy smokes. Yeah. Trigger pull measures 6 pounds 4 ounces on my NRA scales. It basically took all my weight. It has a 17-pound mainspring. Why? Nobody knows. The disco is modified and polished and measures 1.297. The sear is an unmodified drop-in part measuring 760. Now, you guys know that if you followed my reviews, you know that our minimum tolerance on a sear is 775 OAL. The reason 760 works on this is because their secondary sear measurement is long enough. I'm not going to go into all those numbers on this video, but there is a minimum maximum on the length that a sear can be from the sear pinhole to the top of the sear. And theirs happens to be on the maximum side of that. So they can have a shorter overall length of the sear and it still works fine. Basically what's happening is the bottom half of the sear is shorter than what we would normally want. But it still engages with the disconnector just fine. Hammer hooks were not dressed for over travel and bump, and they measure 30/1000ths. That's a lot, 30/1000ths. That's probably partly why the trigger feels so gritty and has 3 different stages. The gun does have an 18-pound recoil spring, and the trigger has approximately 15,000s up and down movement in the shoe. So, what do I think of this gun? Well, I think that if it runs, okay, that $500 is not a bad price to pay for, a basic low price point 1911 if it runs. I've seen a couple of these Taurus guns over the years, and all the ones I've seen ran okay with in the parameters of the type of ammo that you should shoot through a gun like this. You know, these guns are basically built to run ball ammo. So as long as you stick with ball ammo or something similar, it should run fine. Would I buy one for $500? Well, I own this one. Why? Because it's nice to have an inexpensive 1911 laying around. The same reason I own the Springfield lightweight Commander that I own, the same reason that I own several other inexpensive 1911s like Rock Islands. You know, sometimes I just want to go stomping around in the woods, or I want to go take the boat on the river, and you know, if I sink the boat, which I have done in the past, I don't want one of my high-end custom 1911s on my hip when that happens, because I don't know how long I'm going to be in the water. So these guns are good for that purpose. Or if you're just a guy who is on a really tight budget and you can't afford something more expensive, these guns may be a viable option for you. And they leave a little bit of room for improvements to be made, and that's okay. You know, there's what you learn the longer you're in this business is there's a place for various price points in the gun world, and the Taurus may just fit your price point. I'm not saying that, you know, if I didn't have other options and didn't have money, I would rush out and buy one of these, because I probably wouldn't. Currently, there are better options on the market, in my opinion, based on the math. But that doesn't make this a bad gun. All right, well, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'm Joe Chambers with 1911 University. And remember, math don't lie. 3.14 is always pi.